Well, surviving a plane crash is one thing, but escaping unscathed and filming the entire ordeal, including the rescue, is something else altogether. That's exactly what happened to our next guest during a joyride with a friend off San Francisco. It's an extraordinary
David just crashed into the ocean. We were flying along, he had an engine failure.
So we're out here in the Pacific Ocean floating around. Woo! Got some homemade flotation devices here in the form of seat cushions and window shades. The water's a little bit cold, but we're all right. Hopefully someone comes, picks us up soon. Oh, these nice guys picked us up.
Yeah, it is quite an extraordinary story, and pilot David Lesh joins us now from Denver to explain. David, good morning to you. Just if you could, recap the circumstances for us. You were flying a new plane, as I understand it, with another plane following alongside you for a photo shoot, is that right?
Yeah, we were out on the West Coast. It was my first real trip in the new airplane. It took me like 2.5 months to get it all set up the way I wanted. I wanted to go out to the West Coast to do some business for my company, Vertica Outerwear, to shoot some photos for my own social media and for my company's social media. And we wanted to shoot some photos of the new airplane. So my friend Owen out there is also a pilot, and we did some flying around for fun that morning. And then I picked him up with another airplane, and we were doing a formation photo flight out over the San Francisco area.
Explain what happened next. My understanding is you lost power, your aircraft lost power, and you realised you were in deep trouble.
Yeah, I was flying over the bay. I was on the wing of the lead aircraft, and when you're flying a formation flight, the lead aircraft is in charge of navigation, communication, airspace. So it's just my job basically to not run into that airplane. And all of a sudden, you know, I was just behind him and to the right, and all of a sudden I lost all engine power. I tried to troubleshoot it as quickly as I could. I knew I only had about 30 seconds. We were about 3,000 feet above the ground. I went through the entire emergency restart procedures. I switched fuel tanks. I put the boost pump on high, low. I tried different throttle settings, mixture settings, RPMs, everything I could try to do to get the engine to go. I realized I had a problem, so I called Owen on the radio and I said, hey, I've got no power. We're going down. And so he gave me another few seconds to try to figure it out. And then he called the approach frequency and let him know, he gave him the Mayday call and let him know that we were going down. And I continued to try to, play with it all the way down to the water. I made a turn towards the coast and just, aimed for best glide speed. And I got a little bit of power out of it at one moment when I tried to switch fuel tanks, but it just kind of surged and then died again. My first thought was that it was something fuel related. Because that morning it took me about 4 or 5 sumps per tank until I got to clean gasoline. Usually, there's a little bit of sediment in there, a little bit of particulate, but it's like 1 or 2 sumps, and then it's fine. This time it was like 4 or 5. But generally, even then, if you get to like 4 or 5 sumps and you get to clean gas, you should be okay.
So you were
so
on
I didn't think too much of it.
Sorry to interrupt, David. You were on a frantic mission just to survive. It's extraordinary that you managed to film the entire thing. Why did you do that?
Well, when we were on the wing of the airplane after I set it down in the water, I took a quick inventory of what we had in the airplane that could help us out there on the ocean. And we didn't have any life vests. I knew the water was going to be super cold. I looked in the airplane. I found a seat cushion, and I found some foam window shades that I thought would float, as well as an empty water bottle and kind of like a polyester jacket that looked like it would float. And I also grabbed my cell phone. I figured that it's somewhat waterproof. I figured that it, might be our lifeline out there. And sure enough, it did help, Owen's circle above us and helped him find us again. And it helped the Harbor Patrol and the Coast Guard come eventually rescue us. You've
got an amazing portfolio of pulling off incredible stunts, and there has been, I know, some suggestion that you might have staged all of this for some publicity. What's been your response to that?
I have heard that, and I think, I understand why people would jump to that conclusion just off of, looking at our videos on the Vertica website, watching, my social media, my Instagram. I understand, why they might think that, but if you think about it for even a few seconds, it's pretty obvious this was not a planned event. I have another perfectly good airplane that I'm in the process of selling. If anything, that would be the one I'd want to get rid of, and I'd put that one in the ocean. Maybe I would have planned on having life vests with me if I was going to do this on purpose. I maybe would have done it in warmer water. I wouldn't have had a passenger with me. And you know, if nothing else, I just have no interest in risking my life. I had no idea how, you know, how this would have gone. I have no interest in risking my life to, you know, gain a little bit of publicity for my company or, you know, a few Instagram followers. It's just not worth it.
Well, it is a remarkable story of survival. There's no doubt about it, and we're very pleased to know that you escaped unscathed, apart from a few jellyfish stings. Lovely to chat to you this morning, and best of luck going forward. Thank you, David.
Thank you.